Assalamu alaikum students, Zahra Hashmi, your English teacher here. I hope you all are happy and healthy. In today's lesson, we're going to read a story from your reader, the Indigo Jackal. It is written by Nicholas Horsberg. This reader is part of your course material. It has so many stories. The story we're going to read today is Friends. Joseph and Mark had been close friends since their childhood. They lived in a deep valley, high up in the hills. Their houses were close together, so they met often. Their village was not large. It had only one shop on the main street, and that was hardly a shop. It sold little. When they needed stores, the two men went to the nearest town. There was no good road to the town, but a rough track that passed along the side of the valley and through a deep, dark forest. There were wild animals in the forest. One morning, the two friends set off for the town. Their wives and children had given them long shopping lists. They left early so they might return before dark. It was a difficult track to follow in the daylight, but at night, when there was no moon, the track was dangerous. The men walked at a quick pace through the forest. Joseph whistled a jolly tune. Suddenly, Mark stopped. Be quiet, Joseph, he said in a loud whisper. I heard something. It's only a rabbit or a deer, replied Joseph. They're harmless, man. Why are you so worried? Mark put his finger to his lips. He turned this way and that, but heard nothing. The forest was silent. So the man who has put finger on his mouth must be Mark, and the one standing right behind him must be Joseph. Might have been a bear, said Mark, as he started walking again. Joseph laughed and playfully slapped Mark on the back. Bears are dangerous, said Joseph, but bears are usually alone. There are two of us, so why worry? I don't like bears, replied Mark. They scare me. Joseph laughed again. Then the men continued on their way in silence. After a while, Joseph began to whistle again. Mark followed a few paces behind because the path was narrow and steep. He kept a careful watch as he walked. The men had not gone far. When close to the path, they heard a branch snapping. There was a rustling sound. A bush just ahead of the men shook and moved. The men stopped. They peered with wide open eyes at the empty track ahead, and then, as if from nowhere, a large, shaggy, brown bear appeared before them. Joseph stood still. Mark was right behind him. He too stood very still. The men did not move a muscle. They could not have done had they tried. The bear looked very tall. It stood on its hind legs, swaying from side to side. It lifted one paw above its shoulder and stared angrily at the two men. Suddenly, without a word, Joseph turned on his heels and ran back past Mark. He hid behind Mark and held his arms. Mark was too shocked to know what to do. He just stood still, and now, as he was being held by Joseph, he could not move. The bear took a step forward. Joseph shouted, Let go of Mark, and huddled to a tree nearby. He leapt in the air, caught hold of a branch, swung one leg over it, and pulled himself up. Then the story is a very interesting point. Now, Joseph has left Mark and he's climbing up the tree. And we're going to learn about what happens next in the story in the next lecture, inshallah. Meanwhile, I have a homework for you. Identify noun and pronoun on page number 5 and 6 of your reader and color noun red and pronoun blue. If you don't have a reader with you, you can simply replay the lecture, reread the first 2 pages of the reader with me, identify noun and pronoun, and write them on your notebook. Please send your completed homework to me at sarahhashmi83 at the rate of gmail.com. That's all for today. Have a great day.